reusing these sort of mushroom, what do you call them, punnets, because they make quite good plant pots. It's not because I'm tight or anything, it's just well, they're in the kitchen. It's either fill up the bin with them, or put them to a different use. Sorry, I'm not trying to virtue signal here. I've given up these. I'll put a little cut in. These flimsy things. I'm entirely, but I am giving these up because they are so flimsy and they break. And when you're putting you're actually planting plants, you know, in the middle of spring, and they just fall apart, and they're a great big pain. So yeah, I'm giving them up. I may, obviously this is still, you know, only 1 or 2 recycles. They still are flimsy, but you can. What I was planning on using more often, putting holes in these. They should last forever. I've got loads of them. I don't need to buy any more. And yeah, just I notice in America people make wooden ones of these. It's planting time, but only a few things. Leeks and onions. So it's traditional for people growing for competition. The biggest leek and the biggest onion, sort of the end of August, early September, the sort of village shows is to sow them now in the greenhouse. They are relatively hardy, but be very careful about once these do come up in March, being out there putting these, you know, putting these in the ground in March, because it still will be so cold. You'll lose, and then the odd slug will come along. They'll dawdle. The odd slug will come along and just eat them all. So I will be using, when I do put them out, it'll probably be late March, maybe early April. I will be using fleece and various other, probably plastic on hoops, things like this, just to protect them. I'm not growing them for competition. It's just they are staples like potatoes and so on, and you want lots and lots of them. Plus, it is exciting, Boxing Day, to start sowing, but no, don't overdo it. Yeah, I know you'll be really tempted to start doing. You can do things like what do you call it, peppers, and you know, things like that in heat. But I'm going to delay till March, to, maybe late February, for doing that. While we're talking about peppers, this is King of the North. It's Boxing Day, and it's still alive. It did suffer with that really strong frost we had the day before yesterday, and this is Ricotta chili, doing absolutely fine. Alright, so it's looking a bit yellow, but it's not the best of conditions. Just in a cold greenhouse. So so this is the hardiest chili, but it's reasonably hot. It's like a habanero heat, and it has, you can tell what it is because it's got furry leaves, which is where it gets its Latin name. I always try and remember to water before I sow the seed. Sometimes I forget. You do tend to wash the seed all over the place if you do it, wash it afterwards. Now these are Mammoth Snow Star. I normally grow Robinson's Mammoth Blanche Leek, but it does start to rot in winter, so I've changed to Snow Star. I have grown the odd bit of Snow Star before, but it does. I did, both me and another plot holder both noticed that there were one or two that bolted the year before last. I'm going to put this 150 seeds in here. It's a nice big leek, not as big as Robinson's. Just evenly spread. I'm just going to get them started in this palette. So evenly spread them out. But these don't start rotting on the outside like Mammoth Blanche. Slightly more attractive as well, but not as enormous, not quite. But we're not growing them for competition. We're growing them to fill our bellies. And just a thin dusting of compost on top. And for heaven's sake, put a label, otherwise you won't remember what it is. You won't be able to tell the first sort of 2 or 3 months, maybe even longer, you won't be able to tell the difference between a leek and an onion. So make sure you label and put the date on. This, underneath the compost heap, is, and I've had a footle around underneath there, is an avocado. Like I say, it's Boxing Day, so it's been warm enough, sheltered enough there. It has had a bit of damage, so what I'm going to do is rescue it and bring it into the greenhouse. I've done the leeks and I've done the the avocado, and I've just got to do the onions, but they're the same as the leeks. The onion has a different growing style, however, but in the first half of the year it's the same. I'm using Elsa Craig, which can get quite big, but like up till now, I have grown a few Elsa Craigs. They don't grow as big as Robinson's mammoth onions, but the Robinson's mammoth onions rot like the leeks when it gets to winter, and I don't particularly, even indoors. So I'm going for but the Elsa Craigs before, which were probably about 2/3 the size, maybe less. They don't rot indoors very much. Plus, in the kitchen, you don't have a 3/4 of an onion hanging around for a week. You know, they're meal size onions, and they're quite hardy. So anyway, that's my first gardening video of the year. I didn't do any last year, or very much. I did more of archaeological, landscapey videos. So I'm going to do more. I'm back into gardening again. I had a really successful year. Loads and loads of beetroots, leeks, onions, and I found out that I like to grow cabbages as well. So I've gone from this permaculture thing of wanting everything to be perennial. So I've got a collection of perennial kales. They may be going because I grew four proper English cabbages, and they were absolutely delicious. They're just biennial. So the ethics of permaculture are taking second place in the garden to what I want to eat. I reckon I can grow cabbages all year round. So yeah, so that's a new direction this year. I'm going to carry on, obviously, doing my really into my history, landscape stuff, and it's kept me sane. Others would doubt that, but it's kept me sane over the last year with COVID. You know, in the summer, finishing work and then hitting the road straight after, doing 2 or 3 hours, walking in the uplands of England, looking at archaeology, and it's been really fantastic. You know, it has a really strong therapeutic effect. It's really interesting what's left of our past in our landscape. Well, to me anyway. So I shall, even once I've had the vaccine, and I'm definitely having it. There's a lot of nonsense talked about on the internet. Vaccines have saved millions and millions and millions of lives. There is no chip in the vaccine, but I'm having it. I'm having it as soon as they offer it to me. But even if that does, even if we all do have the vaccine and we defeat this disease like we defeated polio and smallpox, again thanks to science and nothing else, and the endeavour, the commitment of people using science to defeat it, we can defeat this virus as well, and I shall carry on doing the things that I've learnt under lockdown. I have rediscovered my love of the country. So yeah. Anyway, that's my first video of the year. Happy growing. Don't get too excited. Start growing your squashes or whatever. Just get your, maybe I might sow some spinach. That'll be hardy enough, but that's probably it. I might, just for the fun of it, just for the internet, do some peppers in January, indoors under lights. I might do. Depends if I've got run out of things to do. Again, gardening's had a very strong therapeutic effect. It does have a good, we're not doing this for therapy, but we are doing it for ourselves. So anyway, that's my video. I shall see you on the next one. See you soon. Ta-da.